Welcome to Bible Tales. We're excited to share timeless Bible stories with you, full of faith and wisdom. If you enjoy our content, please like, comment, and subscribe to support us and stay connected. Thank you for being here. Happy listening.
The story of Naaman from 2 Kings 5. In a time when Syria, also known as Aram, was a powerful nation neighboring Israel, there was a man of great stature and prominence named Naaman. As we read in 2 Kings 5 verse 1, Naaman was the commander of the Syrian army, a man who had achieved tremendous victories and was deeply respected by the king and his people alike. The Bible describes him as a great man in the sight of his master and highly regarded. His fame extended beyond his land, for he had secured victories through what was seen as divine favor, victories that even Israel recognized were allowed by God. Naaman's reputation and influence were unquestioned. He had everything a man of his time could desire: wealth, respect, and power. Yet, his life held a secret burden that he could not ignore. Naaman was afflicted with leprosy. In ancient times, leprosy was a dreaded disease, isolating the afflicted from society, as it could spread among others. 2 Kings 5 verse 1 tells us that despite his high status, Naaman bore this painful affliction, a silent reminder of his vulnerability. His body, a symbol of strength in battle, was now marked by a disease that his achievements and accolades could not erase. Amidst this trial, there was a spark of hope. Among his household servants was a young Israelite girl. Taken captive during one of Syria's raids, she served Naaman's wife. Remarkably, this young girl, despite her own loss and captivity, did not hold resentment in her heart. Instead, she was filled with compassion. She told Naaman's wife of a prophet in Samaria who had the power to heal leprosy. Her faith, even in a foreign land and as a servant, was unwavering. 2 Kings 5 verse 3 records her words to her mistress: "If only my master would see the prophet who is in Samaria. He would cure him of his leprosy." When Naaman heard these words, hope sparked within him. Desperation and faith moved him to approach the Syrian king for permission to seek this prophet. His king, trusting and caring deeply for Naaman, not only permitted the journey but also sent him with a letter to the king of Israel, along with generous gifts of silver, gold, and fine clothing as a symbol of goodwill and a plea for healing. Yet, when the king of Israel received the letter, he was stricken with fear. 2 Kings 5 verse 7 recounts his reaction: "Am I God? Can I kill and bring back to life?" He feared that Syria sought an excuse to wage war against Israel, as he had no power to cure leprosy. He tore his robes in despair, feeling trapped by the impossible request. But God was already at work. News of the king's distress reached the prophet Elisha, who saw this as an opportunity to demonstrate God's power. He sent word to the king, "Have the man come to me, and he will know that there is a prophet in Israel." 2 Kings 5 verse 8. Naaman traveled to Elisha's house with his entourage and his wealth, expecting a welcome worthy of his status and the display of a miraculous healing ritual. However, Elisha did not even come out to meet him. Instead, he sent a messenger with a simple instruction: "Go, wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will be restored, and you will be cleansed." 2 Kings 5 verse 10. This message was shocking to Naaman. He was a man of high status, yet here he was being instructed to bathe in the waters of a foreign river as if it were a simple cure for his disease. Naaman felt offended. He knew of rivers in Damascus, such as Abana and Pharpar, which he considered far superior to the Jordan. How could such a simple act in a lesser river possibly cure him? Angry and humiliated, he turned away, unwilling to obey. But his servants approached him, speaking with the wisdom of humility. They reasoned with him, "My father, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more, then, when he tells you, wash and be cleansed, 2 Kings 5 verse 13. Their words softened Naaman's pride, and he humbled himself, agreeing to follow the prophet's instruction. Naaman descended into the Jordan, dipping himself once, twice, 3 times, until he had fully immersed himself 7 times, just as Elisha had directed. And in that final moment, as he rose from the water, a miracle unfolded. 2 Kings 5 verse 14 tells us, his flesh was restored and became clean like that of a young boy. In an instant, the disease that had threatened his life and dignity was gone, and his skin was renewed, soft and pure as that of a child. This transformation was no mere healing, it was an act of divine mercy. Filled with awe and gratitude, Naaman returned to Elisha, not just as a healed man but as one whose heart had been touched by God's power. He declared to Elisha, "Now I know that there is no God in all the earth except in Israel," 2 Kings 5 verse 15. His words were not only a statement of belief but a confession of the newfound reverence he held for the God of Israel. Naaman offered gifts to Elisha as a token of thanks, but the prophet refused, choosing to honor God by not accepting rewards for what was freely given by the Lord. This gesture underscored that divine healing was a gift of grace, not a transaction. In response, Naaman asked to take 2 mule loads of soil from Israel back to Syria, so that he could worship the God of Israel, even in his homeland. Naaman's request was profound. It symbolized his commitment to the God of Israel alone. He acknowledged that he would still be required to enter the temple of Rimmon, the Syrian god, as part of his official duties. Yet, he sought Elisha's blessing, hoping that God would understand his heart. Elisha's reply was simple and compassionate, "Go in peace," 2 Kings 5 verse 19, a blessing that affirmed God's understanding and grace. In Naaman's story, we witness a powerful transformation, a man of strength and power brought low by a disease, who in humility finds not only physical healing but a spiritual awakening. His story reminds us that God's love and power reach beyond national and cultural borders, touching even those outside Israel. Naaman's healing demonstrates the boundless mercy of God, which calls each of us to humble obedience, to faith, and to acknowledge that true healing and salvation are gifts of grace.